What's going on? See that red light blinking?
You do see
It's
it.
gonna be a big one. What is that? Is that three?
Yeah.
Here it goes.
No.
Oh,
Maybe it's
no.
busted now. Maybe it's
Three.
You are abominable.
Bigfoot! Hold on, Michelle. Time you see them young girl coming down from Fort, them and they whop on Baramble's grave. For them and they whop on Baramble's
What I'm
grave.
going to try to do is to attempt to make some journey cake. I haven't done it in years, but just from what I could remember, we're starting with the flour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm measuring the flour now. This is 1 cup right now.
How many cups you gonna put in?
Well, I'm going to debate. I'm going to debate how many cups will go in there. How much? So this is 2 cups. You think if I want more than that, I'll put another cup. So let's try about 3 cups this time.
Okay.
You don't want to have too many of it. Oh, come on. Okay, 3 cups of flour. So now I'm going to guess approximately a teaspoon of baking powder per cup, I guess. So let's see what I'm going to come up with.
Kind of a loose measurement thing you Belizeans go with, huh?
Yeah. We don't have all this stuff back in Belize today. So that's 1 teaspoon there. That's 2. We'll see how it come out. It's gonna come out. Since I've used 3, I'm using 3 of these. We'll see how it come out. Okay. I'm stirring it around so that the baking soda mix around in the flour.
Baking powder.
Baking powder. It mix around in the flour. Preheat the oven to about 350, I guess.
First, take all the excess pans out of the oven.
Take them out then. We hit the bake. That's the wrong one. I hit the wrong button. What happened when I don't wear my glasses? So I set it for 350. I like the flavor of coconut oil. But
Whatever oil you have works.
oh yeah.
It's what, tablespoons?
Approximately. I'll just put it on it. The more grease you put in these things, I don't know if it's a fluffy or crisp. It's like when you make these pastry with a lot of greases, it kind of fall apart in your mouth.
A little flakier?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I won't overdo it with coconut oil.
So you could use butter, lard, whatever kind of oil.
Yeah.
And you did what? Maybe 4 tablespoons, kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
more or less. I just want to see what you're going to come out to me. So we're going to kind of get it into a dough now. Just don't mess up with too much water, and then you're gonna put more flour in it. Oh, no big deal. Huh? Trying to get out of the flour from the side of it. I just gotta watch myself.
You're just going for regular dough consistency.
Right, yeah. I gotta get it just manageable, not too soft, not too hard. Once you get to the consistency you want it, then you knead it a little bit. And if you get too soft, you could add a little bit of flour to it to kind of. I know what I'm doing. I'm kneading the dough once I get it gooey. Yes. Still a little bit too hard yet. I get that a bit softer just to make sure it's it'll spread. It's soft enough to make it spread. It could spread it easier. Now I'm kind of kneading it. I'll give it the knuckle.
Is that the official term? Give it the knuckles?
No. Because when you're in a big white bowl, we have that big white bowl in Belize. You just spread it, kind of roll it around the whole place. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in my hand. I'll keep it from sticking on my hand. Just my hands are clean. I wash it 3 times already. In case you see me put my hand to get a little bit of grease on my hand. This is what I call kneading.
How long do you need the dough?
Not too long. Yeah, that's why we use a big bowl. The big bowl you could roll after you knead it. You could roll it. You could roll it. But I'm gonna try to do the best I can with this thing. With this thing, we call it a kneading bowl on Belize. I'm kind of making it a little bit of circle here. I'm guessing it'll come out okay. I don't know. We're making a ball right now. So after you make the ball, then you just kind of
Flatten it out.
flatten it a little bit. Yeah. My mother used to win Belize, and then my wife when we used to work at Roaring River, come weekend, they'll make a lot of these things and put it in a bag for us. That's what, because when we go on camp over there for the whole week. So and this is something that will last quite a while without have to be refrigerated. That's why they call it the journey cake. That's for you to go on journey. Yeah. Alright, now I'm getting ready to put it on the pan here. I'll just put a little bit of grease on the pan just to I guess so. There we go there.
Need a fork?
Yeah. So I'll give you the forky though. One little.
So why do you jab it with a fork?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't ask my parents what it is, but you could see them with a little amount. I mean, I don't think you have to do it, but they used to do it, so now our guess is ready to go in.
Your oven's at 350.
Yeah, we'll stick it in there and see what happens. And the way they've been raising, I think we're gonna have some big journey cake. All right, we're gonna see whether it came out okay. So we're taking out of the oven. So you get a little brownish on top there now. And you can see how the fork marks on it.
Mm-hmm.
I got my
You won't get it to record.
my sample. I can't wait. What I'm doing now, I'm gonna slice them in half as well. Then I'm gonna add some butter.
No, that's not what you did when you were out in the woods.
No, well,
That's a lot of butter.
at home we do that. Yeah.
That butter explains your heart issues right there. Right on that journey cake.
We don't have that luxury. This is the American style one.
Uh-huh.
See, my ex-wife used to make me a whole bag of this thing to take to camp, because we usually go to work at a citrus company, and we're gone for a whole week. So I'll save us to have stuff to eat.
What were you doing?
We're working in the orange grove with clean oranges, pick oranges. We clean the weeds that grow around the orange grove. After the tractor they go through in the windrow, we come behind and clean the rest of the weed that remain around the root of the tree.
How'd you do that?
With a machete.
Is that what they call whoop and go?
Whop and go. Those machete are really sharp because you really got to do. And we used to get them 3.5 cents per tree.
Mm.
So you would have to make $3.50. We got to clean 100 trees a day. We did that from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening. Yes.
What year was that?
Gosh, that's in the 50s, the late 50s. We're on the mid 50s or late 50s, so mid 50s.
I'll let you eat your warm journey cake, and we'll come back to the stories.
Okay.
Gobble, 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 gobble. Gobble, 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 gobble.
says the joining together of this man and this woman is holy matrimony.
So we got a journey cake. Oh, start that over since you were wiping your face. So we got a journey cake there.
Right.
All right. All done. All yummy. Yeah.
Ready to eat, yeah.
How long did they last?
It lasts a whole week, as we know, as I know,
So
without refrigeration.
now you use jumping dog in the background. Ah. So now you use them when you said you did the orange groves?
Right, yeah. Well, it's they call it journey cake because where we work back then, some people want to walk for about 2-3 hours and go to work. Well, we didn't have to go to the orange grove, and they have camps back there. We just build our own bed and a mosquito tent, and I would take a backpack with our cooking utensils and a cup. We all tin cup something that don't break, and for us to cook and do our food there while we're there for the rest of the week. And come Friday, we come back home, and get ready for another week. And then my mother, before I was married to my first wife, she used to fix me some journey cake, maybe like about two or 3 dozen of them to take to the job. And we take all our bedding and everything on a backpack. That backpack we have there is full with us. I thought it was like a gunny, made out of a gunny sack.
Mm-hmm.
And it hold quite a bit of stuff, and we just load it up.
So what else did you eat with the journey cakes?
With beans. We got beans and we got rice, but mostly beans. So we don't have any eggs back there. We just beans in the morning. We get a little bit. They had a canister back there that we could buy a little bit of a few things, like some butter, maybe a piece of cheese, and we'll get some salt pork or pigtail. They had a little. We'll buy some of that to cook our beans and rice.
So you carry your journey cakes that were made at home. You take them
Right.
with you, and then you take just like hard beans and you'd boil them up while you're sitting sitting around together.
Right.
How many of you were there?
Well, it's a whole family. Me and my cousin, but each person take their own supply. So whatever they want to take, they take. So, but I take my own supply, but we share sometimes. That's the way. But it's a long way. They take you about 2.5 hours to get there. So I didn't want to walk that every day. So.
That's a long haul.
So, but they have a little commissary there that we could go get some of the staples that we need to eat.
So where's there? Just a different town you're working in, or
No, it's not a store. It's a orange grove, but they have the office there where the supervisor or the foreman there, the recorder, and then you got the captain. And my uncle used to be a supervisor there, and they take down whatever we do for the day and turn it into the office to the foreman.
how many trees did you said you got 3.5 cents a tree?
We used to get 3.5 cents a tree. After the tractor, the bush hog, go through the windrows, go one way and then come the other way. Whatever is left around the trees, we come and clean them up. But to make $3.50, we had to clean 100 trees.
So did you shoot for 100 trees a day? Was that your goal?
That's what I was shooting. Sorry about having the white.
That's all good. So,
yeah.
Do you know what your best day was?
I think 100. I don't think sometimes it depends on how bad the bushes around the trees are. It slow you down some, So some people don't make that much, 75 trees and stuff like that. But it was me and my cousin and another guy that were really good at it. we just go to it, man. So we wound up mostly doing 100 trees a day.
Wow.
So that's $3.50 a day.
So what, and how many years did you work there, and how old were you when you were working there?
I think I probably was 17, 18, something like that.
So just a couple years there?
Yeah, I worked there maybe two or 3 years, maybe.
Okay.
That was one citrus grove that I worked with.
And where was that? What town was that? What area was that?
We used to call it Road River. There weren't any down there. The only home was there was for the people, the foreman that worked there, and there was the captain or supervisor that come around, watching the people that are working, make sure that because some people work by the hour. We were doing contracts, but he would come the trees and turn in what we do every day, so they didn't know what we're earning.
So where'd you sleep?
We had maybe like about a half a mile away from where the commissary is. They have some like some shed, like made with thatch roof shed. We built our own bed by using wood that we cut down and treated with the crutch, put thing across it and lay like the cocoon leaf the ridge of the cocoon leaf. And we'll see
So kind of a slatted bed, but
well, you could stack wood on it. You stack wood on just if you make the bed that wide, you just stack. Well, you just lay them together side by side, all the way until the butt to the other side. Then we take palm leaves and make it use it as a mattress, like to soften it so you don't sleep on the hard wood.
so palm leaves are soft.
Yeah, when you soften, we make it. You use it like you bend it over and attach it like and make it thick together and make it a little bit softer.
So kind of roll them up a little bit so they have a little air in
you
there.
Push it tight
Okay.
together like you're attaching a roof, and it get thicker.
About how
Yeah.
thick do you think the mattresses of palm leaves were?
I would say at least about 4 or 5 inches, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you make that fresh every week, or just
No,
after you made it,
no.
you were good to go?
We're good to go.
Cool.
And then we take our own sheets and blanket and or a mosquito tent. You got to have mosquito tent there.
Kind of like Florida, huh?
Oh yeah, and mosquito. Oh, they'll kill you, man.
Pick you up and carry you off in your
It's
sleep.
just about, yeah.
So what kind of mosquito net you have? Just something you tack to the ceiling?
Well, it's made of. You got a top on the side down, and then there's a slit in between the opening that you could go slide in, and then once we get in there, we kind of pin it together with something to keep the mosquito from coming in.
It was a canopy type thing.
It's a
Canopy bed cover.
type, yeah. You could drop it down. It's all of that cloth, and it's you could see through it. It's rather thin to let some air in, but the mosquito can't get in. And we got a pillow and we just fix our bed and lay them. We make sure that there's no openings that the mosquito could get in.
So you got up early Monday morning, walked there, and then stayed till Friday?
Yep.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah, that day we probably don't make as much as we usually have. When we're there, we could get there real fast and start working early.
Okay. Cool. And then lots of those went with you.
Was that the mosquitoes?
No, Journey Kings. Well, definitely the mosquitoes.
Oh yeah, the journey came well because in the morning you want to get your fast breakfast and we cook our own beans there. We could cook some beans overnight and we just cook a batch that lasts us a couple of days or something like that, and then when that finished, we cook another batch that lasts us a couple of days.
So wood fire, just cooking over the fire.
Wood fire. We put some rocks together and. Sometimes we find some piece of steel, like angle iron or something like that, and just set it on it, and then just get lots of firewood and just put it there and burn and cook.
So a little pot, like an iron pot.
Right. That's what we use, iron pot. But you could use some the metal, like aluminum pot and metal pot.
Cool.
But So we did less cooking because we don't have time to get home.
Yeah.
We're tired. And where we take a bath, go to the creek and jump in. And sometimes when we go, when I will jump in with my clothes and everything.
Wash your clothes and yourself.
Wash my clothes and myself, and then head on in. We got creek there, nice. The water used to be real clean then, but not anymore now, though.
Alright. So you're talking about where now?
Out in Alta Vista. That's farther west, Southern District. There's a company named Sharp. They used to have a big citrus company, and they also were growing cacao, which is they grow a big pod like that and then break it, and all the nuts come out, and they dry it and to make the cacao, make the cocoa.
That's your cocoa.
Yeah.
So what'd you do there?
Well, we used to do the same thing, clean, and we used to plant them and keep the weeds down. And we used to do orange, clean orange trees too. Whatever the bush hog couldn't get, if I don't want it to get too close to the root, because I don't want it to bang the roots, so we use them machete and clean what's left behind. They'll go one way this way and then come this way and then this way. So they'll leave like a little square around each tree. And that one we used to go there, we will get a ride to go up there and spend all week long. Sometimes we spend the whole 2 weeks because it's 2 weeks to payday.
Okay, so you just stay till payday?
We stay until payday, yeah. And we just get a ride on a truck heading back to Roaring Creek.
Thumb your way home, huh?
Yeah, from there we went home, yeah. From there we walked from Roaring Creek to head on up to where we live. I think I probably put a couple of years back there. And we used to fish mullet. We used to catch mullet in the river there. But we did the same thing. We used to get they have a little commissary. Excuse me. Little commissary there. You could get a few supplies. Yeah.
How'd you cook your mullet?
Or we just cut it up and just scale it and cut it open and clean it up. Sometimes we fry it, sometimes we smoke it.
Oh, smoked mullet's good.
You just put it over there. We put a cup steak in the ground and put a piece of wood on top of it in the crotch. And then it's a piece of wire and just hang them over there while we sprinkle some salt and just let it, while the fire, keep the fire burning and it dry. That way it won't spoil.
And you can carry that with you. Yeah, smoked mullet will travel.
Yeah. Well, we don't. Well, when we leave home, we put it away so somebody will come and steal it from us, like animals.
Yep.
Come home, we put it back out while we're cooking over the fire again. Keep smoking. And we didn't do much hunting there because it's kind of private land, I guess, for the company. You don't have that much time to do all that stuff anyhow.
Fishing's pretty. You throw the string in while you're doing something else and catch something.
We used to use jig.
Okay.
We could use board. We used board, but I used to go sit under one of the tree by the bank there and see one and come back. We gig it. So get a couple of them and we go home. We got enough.
So you were good at gigging?
Oh yeah, I've done that all my life. We make the gig with one wire or two wire. It's like a cane pole type. It's a reed. We put a little hole in the middle of there and kind of bevel the end down and then put the two wire inside it. And we get some string and really wrap it real tight. Sometimes when the gig we put a little, we flatten it and make like a little like a harpoon. Make like a little spread out thing so it won't slide out of the fish that easy.
So it's like a.
like a harpoon type stuff.
So say when you say gigging, it's like a stick with a point on the end.
Yeah, with a long stick, with the pointed metal on at the end. They come by and strike them. But we used to have reed, and then sometimes you make them out of. If you didn't have reed, they just make it out that they got some little skinny pole in the forest that you cut and make something out of it.
Cool.
But do a lot of stuff. And then we used to work in that same place there. This is the one in Alta Vista I'm talking about. Did all our stuff. That we used to pick the cacao. We used to clean the cacao tree. And we used to then between it they have banana plantation. We keep those cleaned. So what I did, it's a shame that what happened because that used to be a fruitful forest. Everything was all the trees that were so gigantic. So what they do to make room for the citrus company, they fall these big trees.
All those mahoganies.
Mahoganies and Tibruce and cotton tree and then you got Sapodillo and Margie, but they were all virgin land. So what they do to make shade for the cacao, they plant banana rows in rows, and then the cacao in between the rows. So what is looking back, it's kind of sad, but what you gonna do?
Yeah.
One of those big mahogany back then, them big pole truck that is like a 30 feet or something like that. All they could take is one of them. The bed is they cannot roll it up on top of the pole bed. It's not a real bed. It's like have two at the up front and two at the back, and they have a chack on each side. So once you roll it up, you take the chack off and then roll it up. And once I get in the middle, put the chack back, and then you strap them down with chain. And all I could take is one of them. Those things are
wow. That's huge.
Oh, the trees I would say like from here to the driveway, but they take the whole thing down there and then up to the sawmill.
That's wood you can't find anymore.
I don't know. Maybe unless they're trying to save them anymore, but because even on the Guatemala side, we used to be cutting mahogany over there. We used to go. The only way to get to the sites is by these big bulldozers, and they pull these big iron wheel trailers with all the people going back there, and then they'll camp back there for them. That thing will go through in between the trees and smash down the little one like in the way.
Did a little of everything.
Yeah. Of course, I was at Chiclero too.
What's a chicalero?
Chiclero, that's the prehistoric chicle tree. That's where the chewing gum used to come by. The chewing gum come from a tree they call sapodillo. You had the female sapodillo and also the male sapodillo. The female sapodillo, the milk get hard when you cook it, and it get brittle. Now the male doesn't get as hard. It's mold up, but it's stay a little bit soft. So someone to make more, we would mix some of the male with the female to make them by little 14 by 12 blocks, and that's require a different type of strategy. We use the pack mule. They were the one that will bring grocery in to us. We got all the workers that get there and start building our camp. We finish our camp in one day.
What wall was in the camp? Describe the camp.
Well, we build a roof overhead and then make it's everything out of the woods. Make the sidings, your wall or the small trees.
So did you build like one big hut that everybody shared?
Everybody sleep in. Yeah, everybody's sleeping there. I don't know. share them. Sometimes we have to build 2 or 3, depending on how many workers. But we all work together. And that's where we go. From there is where we go spread out in the forest to go find our chicle tree and bleed, and then at the end of the day we come home there.
How does that process work of the bleeding the chicles?
The bleeding a chicle is a process that you get to the chicle tree, and you got your machete nice and sharp, and you got your spur that they use like linemen that use to climb trees, and then we have one tar rope. Is a thick rope, probably like that thick, and it have a big eye to it with 2 separate ends. You take the one end and start climbing. So what you do, but before you start climbing, you make you get your bag and where you're going to start the core of the tree. You get your bag and you make like a little chip on it and slide the bag under there, and then have a little one down this way and hook your string of your bag on top so it won't fall off. And then you start going from there, keep going. You go this way and cut around to the bag, then you come on the back, cut around back to the bag and back and forth. And you keep going as far as it could go.
So you're making all these cuts, and then the sap.
It's core. Then the milk start coming down this core and just keep coming down back and forth. Well, your bag is here, so we'll cut a core around that way. Then we come back and take another one and go that way. Then come and cut another one and go that way. And then we cut another one and go that way.
So you're cutting zigzags through the tree so that it keeps milking.
And the milk is coming down in the middle, coming down into your bag.
Well, does it come down the middle, or does it follow the zigzag?
Right,
It follows the lines.
Right. This will run into this to this one, and the other one just keep coming down until they come into the bag.
So it's like making cuts, like all these cross-hatch cuts all the time, and everything keeps bleeding down.
Right. So
kind of like turpentine. I mean, they did it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Just so they bleed down into the bag. You just guys go how to take a little bit of ingenuity to do it.
How much you get out of a tree?
Depending on how good is the tree. If it's a virgin tree, we get quite a bit. We could if it's a nice big tree, you could get a bag probably about that wide, probably about that big by the time you finish the trees by the end of the day.
3 to 5 gallons out of one tree.
Right, so you maybe could do a couple of trees a day, unless they're small little trees,
Okay,
But,
so we got a bag full of the chicle now.
and then we also we got a carrying bag, the one that you take your chicle bag. See, after we collect, on the way home we collect what we have in the bag and put in that big bag. So if we did a couple of trees, you'll probably have about maybe 4 or 5 gallons. So we take that home and we hook our bag back by it. So
And let it bleed all night.
they bleed all night long.
So what do you do with that 4 or 5 gallons you've collected?
We take it home. So when we got
Back to the camp.
right, we got another big bag there that we pour it in. So when we get so much, we try to get home a little bit early. We got this big pot with I think 3 legs, like it's an iron pot. There you go. So each person take turns in cooking that chicken and put it on the big rocks and load it on fire and just cooking until it start getting stretchy. And we got 2 crutch stick over there, 1 crutch stick there and 1 there. Put another beam over it. So once you get that good, stretchy enough, you just take it out, wash it off, got a bucket of cold water there and wash it off and throw it over it and keep stretching it to get all the chips and stuff like that. So when kind of take it out and throw it over and wash it, you start cleaning it to get it stretchy. Get all the chips and dirt out of it.
So it's kind of like when I see people making taffy, the way you keep stretching and pulling and stretching and pulling.
You're pulling and then, but the only thing we do it to get all the chips and stuff like that out of it
To clean it.
and get it, get it hard enough. And then when we finish, we take a little square container like this, or probably about that thick high. These are things that we make by ourselves. We take nail to do it. We put palm leaves in it, and kind of put it down in the corner, and then we put our chicle in there so it won't stick on the wood. And then when we finish, we just put it until it fill up to the top. Sometimes I do like maybe a couple of them blocks, we call it,
Mm-hmm.
chicle blocks. Where
And you got paid by the box, by the pound.
I guess by the weight, I guess they give us. Yeah. So we keep each person keep their work reward, I guess, together. And then at a certain time when we got enough load for the mule to come in, we'll call them on. We get a hold of the mule man to come with the pack mules.
Mm-hmm.
Marcos' dad used to take care of the mule on one place of work up by Windy Hill there, back
Okay.
in that forest.
Yeah.
He used to be the mule man. And he used to climb these. There's a bread nut tree, they used to call it. Climb up there and trim the leaves so that the horses and mule have something to eat, because sometimes they don't have much grass.
So
And corn, we were feeding corn too, but the green.
so you all stayed out in wherever you were in the woods, and the mule would
Right.
take your
Yeah.
boxes back.
Where they come from the road right there was like a bodega or something like that where they keep all the supply, and that's where they maintain the mule, because it was a big pasture, like, and the mule they couldn't, forage them. We don't take them back there until we're ready for them to go and get a load and come back out.
So how'd they keep track of what was whose? They got all these boxes going in. How'd you know whose was whose?
Well, there's somebody that come and check them and put the name down on each of them. Yeah.
Do you ever have people stealing chicle for your chicle from other people?
I don't remember anybody stealing anything.
That's true. Y'all had machetes, though. You probably don't want to steal from each other, huh?
So, but we're
Because then suddenly somebody disappears from camp.
something that usually there's somebody come and check it and said this is for this person, this is for this person, and they put it in gunny sack.
Okay.
Like, so maybe it take about 2 blocks, depending on the size of the block. On one side, two blocks on the side, and then one on top. So that's six blocks each mule take. So they head on back, and this is all day traveling.
How much you get paid for the blocks?
It wasn't much.
Because would it be? I mean, would you get a block in a day or 2 days, or I mean, how long it take you to get those blocks?
It probably take at least a couple of days.
To get a block?
Yeah. Or depending on how good is the breeding, because if you're getting an area that was done a few years ago, and you got to recore, and they teach you how to core so you don't kill the tree. You got to start over. You really don't have that much, but if you hit a virgin place, you get a lot of milk fast.
And how old were you when you were doing this?
I was in my teens. I was at 17, 16. I used to, but then I used to. What I was doing then is I was a apprentice type. So they were teaching me how to do it.
Okay.
My sister's first husband used to be a chiclero, and his uncle used to be a chiclero, Leslie. He's the one that threatened Harold Leslie when he tried to burn my mother here, and I tangled with him and tear the wall down.
All right. Since you started that story, tell that story, because that's a fascinating story.
Well, the story about my stepfather. His name was Harold Leslie. When we lived across the river at Tea Kettle, he was arguing with my mother about something, and he got mad at my mother.
How old were you?
I was about, I said I was young. I was 17, maybe 18. I don't know, or maybe a little bit younger, 16, 17. Was arguing and because she didn't do something, and she grabbed her and gave her to push her against the fire heart and the flame that were going. So I saw that and I jumped in and I grabbed him and I push him towards the kitchen door. And we hit against that little side of the kitchen door there, and that wall came down, and he fell on his back, and I bit him. So, what do you do? A young kid watching your mother get in a situation like that? What happened if you hit that fire hard? Some tough life, but and he threatened me to get me. But my cousin was married to Leslie Young, and they didn't trust him because he figured he wasn't doing his. I mean, he was a good guy. He just wasn't going to take anything from anybody. He walked around with machete
In the sheath on
in the
it.
sheet on his side all day long until he go to bed. He think he would not put up with it. So
Oh, I doubt it.
he's sitting hanging over the butt.
In the backyard.
Hello. This is country style barbecue ribs. Mesquite, Texas.
Move.
Burn.
You gotta be from Texas to enjoy this type of steak.
I'm not from Texas.
Dad, look at the camera and talk.
It's about $20 a rib.
I can't see you through the smoke.
Mashed potatoes.
Good one.
Hey, hold on to this. Pretend like you're doing something. Keep touching the steak like that.
So I was making your design. It fell apart though.
Alright, just keep touching it. Don't keep it up. Just touch it like that. Pretend like you're doing something when you... Hello, Michelle. That's Michael there, putting the chef touch on that barbecue right there. Lava time in Pomona Valley when they lash your shop with electric wire. Lava time in Pomona Valley when they lash your shop with electric wire. Suppose old shop and dry gun. Some would have run till it tumbled down. Suppose old shop and dry gun.
We have 2 cups of flour in there.
All right, what are we making?
Fried Jacks.
Fried Jacks.
It's a mixture to make from Fried Jack. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the baking powder. I'm gonna use about 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Okay.
So 1 teaspoon per
cup.
cup. And we'll see how it turn out. If it doesn't turn out good, we just add some more. You should soften or fluff it a little bit.
So you're saying you don't usually, measure these things, you just pour.
So
Now, in the cooking shows, they have all their ingredients sitting in front of them, right?
that's the way I'm not technical either. The way I said my mother used to do it, just throw some flour in there and just throw some baking powder in there and start mixing it. Of course, this is the oil. I'm not going to put any oil in there because it's going to be fried in oil, so we don't need any more oil.
What kind of oil are you frying in?
In
Coconut oil?
coconut oil.
All right.
So,
Now, is that what you cook in down there, or do you use whatever?
we got whatever we have, then we use. We use corn oil, or we use coconut oil, or we use hog lard because we sometimes kill a pig at the end of the year and we have a whole 5 gallon of lard to cook with, and then we use corn oil.
Okay.
That's the small nut that grows in. Okay, so this is a little pan that I just put, so I don't have to use too much oil. I just put a small enough pan, throw the oil in here, start heating it to to fry the fried jacks. So what I'm doing, I'm putting the coconut oil.
How much are we putting in?
Deep enough to, I would say probably maybe,
It's maybe half an inch or so, maybe a little more.
yeah, about a half inch or so in the bottom. But if
Okay.
it get too low, then I just add a little bit more. Right, kind of like a deep frying method. But sometimes when you don't have too much oil, you just kind of let it fry one side and flip it over and fry the other side. So what I do with this one, since I put the baking powder in it, I mix it up. So that this flour is kind of cool with mineral fridge. But I mix it up so the baking powder kind of mixing the flour the best we can. So all I have to do now is get the water. Instead. Oh, I put a towel under this thing so it don't slide around. So that's what I'm doing with this. Put a kitchen towel on the bottom. So now what I'll do is add some water there and just get it to a right consistency that you could need it. But be careful, if you put too much water, it gets soft, you're going to have to add more flour. I'm mixing it up right now.
Hela time in Pomona Valley when a large old shop with electric wire, suppose old shaman dry gun. Stamp with a run till it tumble down, suppose old shaman pull the trigger. Stamp with a made a funny figure.
Even got the Belizean broken mixing bowl.
Oh yeah. We actually, what I do in Belize, we have a pan about that big, or use a kneading bowl that they make. The bowl they make it out of mahogany or they really make a nice kneading bowl. It's a wood.
Why don't we have one of those?
Huh?
Why don't we have one of those?
You gotta get somebody to make one. And say, we'll buy one from Belize probably. I don't know if mahogany grew big enough to make kneading bowl anymore. That was handmade. It's not no mechanical stuff. What I'm doing now, I'm gonna get a little bit of grease out of this thing to grease my hand.
That's the part I always forget. And it gets real messy.
I know. I just make them small because I have a small container there. As small as I can. It's a small little container.
It's like a fistful of dough.
Yeah.
Kind of like a fistful of
But you
dollars,
make
but
it-
different.
You could make it bigger than that, but as I said, I didn't make too many of them, and I don't want to make them
Too big because of the pan.
right because you gotta fit in a little pan there. What I'm doing, just kneading it a little bit after I finish. Make them in the size that I want. You put that in scale, they're way about the same. I'm just kind of kneading it a little bit.
So those are kind of thick. Or are you you're still gonna flatten them?
Oh, now this.
Am I jumping ahead?
Oh, you're way ahead. Yeah.
All right, I'm jumping ahead. Got it. I need
I'm
to quit
just
that.
kind of kneading it a little bit. You want to go in the pan, yeah. So sometimes you want to make them wrong. Kind of do it like that. And last time you let it sit around a little bit, it spread easier.
They don't refrigerate their flour in Belize, huh?
No, well, I don't think so. when I was growing up, we didn't have any refrigeration. Not where I lived back in Young Galloway. I grew some there and then tea kettle. All of our food was cooked and eaten and put away until. But that's the way life used to be then. But thankfully, you have some of the stuff we have nowadays.
Yeah.
We used to raise our own chicken, pick up our eggs and eat. And that's how we have our eggs by the chicken. You can we milk the cow in the morning and get cow milk. So you guys,
None of this pasteurized grocery store stuff, huh?
and then we cook when we finish making when we finish with milking the cow and we put the milk in a pan and just put it on the fire and boil down the meat and the milk.
So you did your own pasteurizing, is what you're saying?
I guess that's what it was.
Pretty much.
We kind
You didn't need a big company to do it for you. You did it yourself.
we used to like to skim that skimmer that come on top is like a kind of stretchy when you take off. What I'm going to do, I'm waiting now for the grease to start getting hot.
There's steam rising. That's a good sign.
Well, it started heating already.
It's hot.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now,
A little bit of oil on your fingers, a little bit on the plate.
yeah. So then I start using by the inside of my hand here. Some people use their finger, but I rather use the heat of my hand, is that what I call it? And as I say, I made them small so that it'll fit in that pan. Because if you don't, now when you want to make big fried jack, you get a big pan.
You make them as big as the pan, huh?
Well, you're not as big, but you're still a whole bigger fried jack. I'm sure I'm going to have people correcting me how to do it, but I'm not worried about it. It got the same ingredients. I don't put any salt in it because I don't eat with salt.
Well, and I would think it's like a lot of recipes that everybody does it their own way.
Well, if you're on a salt-free diet like I am, so once I get it spread out, and then I just add a few little whole. That's what I do. I don't know how somebody else does it. All right, so I'm going to set it right in there. Watch yourself, don't get burned. And they go frying now. The first one go frying. So while that one is frying, I'm going to another one.
Now you flip it.
Well, you got to flip them.
I was just asking. Don't.
Oops. I'm going to burn my hand, but
Yeah, don't do that.
it's kind of slipped them when I was turning.
Use tongs.
But you want to take it out before it gets too brown. And now it's I'm taking it out as soon as it turns golden brown. I let it drip the oil up. I put it in there. That's one of them there. There's one little slice on it, and then I punch a little hole so that the grease come through when you're frying. Kind of. It's my design.
Your own trademark design, huh?
See how this one is getting slow, I know getting brown.
Mm-hmm.
That's because The more you put it in, they cool the grease down. And Gyps is waiting down below there in case I drop one.
Hey, Gyps.
And I'm watching Dad doing fry jack.
All right, while you're waiting, you can look up and smile.
Hi.
Okay. I just figured I'd take some still shots while I was at it. This will all be edited, so probably none of my talk will be in here.
So this is a little bit lighter golden brown.
That's your artist signature, huh?
Yeah.
So now when you make these for us, we tend to eat them with beans and cheese. Is that what you always ate them with?
Cheese, you could do it with fried beans.
Okay.
Or you could eat it with stew beans, doesn't it? You eat it with anything, really. Depending on what you want to eat it with.
But
Well,
with
usually with beans and eggs. Fried beans and an egg. And a piece of cheese.
you ever put cinnamon sugar on them?
Well, you can if you want to, but that's going to change the flavor.
Well, then it's like a
If you-
dessert.
Right, if you want to make it like a dessert, I guess you can. Maybe we better off sweeten the dough.
Have you ever made them that way?
Nope.
So you're very traditional. It's beans, cheese, maybe some eggs.
Yeah, some eggs, yeah.
Okay.
They probably have a different way of doing it now. So I'm talking about probably was anywhere between from time was knee high. 10 years old from there on. My grandmother used to get up real early and make the. We used to buy the flour by the 100 pound. Well, as you said, it was 96 pound of flour when we buy.
96 pounds. Wait, not 100?
I don't know. I think that's why it said 96 pound. I don't know why. Unless the change that thing, but back then it was 96 pound. We buy the flour, and then when we finished with the flour, we made shirt out of the flour bag. Yeah. We washed the letters out.
How'd you get all the letters out?
Parents know how to do. Just wash it, I guess. Just keep washing it. Sometimes I guess they boil them and get it. Yeah. So we didn't waste anything from the flour bag we used to either. So nice. Just light golden brown. Yeah. You could brown them more than that if you like them brown. But then they get a little bit crispier, I guess. Here goes another Dunkin' Donut there. Dunk another one in there. Oh,
So you said your grandma got up early and made them?
boy, look at the water, man.
What's early?
Well, when we used to do it, like, God, just dawn, I guess. Cause we gotta get to work, go to the milpa
What's the milpa?
plantation.
Mm.
Depending on what we're doing, sometimes we gotta go and weed the cornfield so that the weed don't take over the corn with our machete, and clean the banana field and the cocoa field, potato field. We got all that stuff. And the cane field, we gotta keep that up too, because we used to have a mill that we used to grind the sugar cane and make syrup. We tie the horse to it and let it walk around. They gotta walk around and we make a couple discs in between them. and you just squash the cane, and then after they crush it, we just take it and wring it and get all the juice out of it. But we had the old type one, and we used to just smash it, and then when it's smashed real good, we just bend it and pinch it in with the pincher, and then take a piece of wood and put it between it and just turn it and twist it and wring all the juice out of it.
And then cook it down to get your molasses
And
or your
then when we
sugar.
get it, put it in a big pot and just cook it down, put it on, got syrup. Canned syrup. Yeah. You take my picture now?
We're seeing which sounds better.
What's cooking? Hi.
And I'm getting ready to get the onions prepared to put it. I'm gonna take a little bit of oil and put it in the fry pan.
What constitutes a little? That's not a little. That's a good amount.
Right, that's the
That's
fry.
a big spoon.
That's the fried onion.
So that's the coconut oil we use to make the fry jacks.
Right.
Okay.
And turn it. Would be nice to turn the flame on.
Gypsy's waiting for her share.
Alright, so I'm getting the skin off the onion. You gotta know how to skin the onions. Yeah. And I'm gonna put it in trash. Hold on, I'll put it in the trash can. So now I'm gonna wash this out so there's no onion skin on it. So I'm gonna start slicing this onion. It's a huge, gigantic onion. I like lots of onion. Gotta be careful so you don't cut yourself with this thing. I'll cut in small pieces.
Those are chunks. They're not super super small.
Yeah, we'll just I'll try to get them as small as I can. Cook quick. I like all of that onion. Yeah. But when I was growing up, that one onion there would last us almost a week.
Really?
Oh, yeah, just part of the piece.
Were onions expensive?
I guess it was. Yeah. Well, keep still those around here. You know, you wouldn't buy this. Don't use that much onion either. I said, when you're on a tight budget, you gotta watch how much ingredients you use.
Now, how many of you were there in Belize? In the house?
Oh, well, most of the time it was me and my cousin Polly that just passed away. Same day Marcus passed, my brother passed away. And then my grandmother, my grandfather. And then when my mother was there, she was there too. So that's about how much. But if somebody comes to the house, they will give them stuff to eat. That's the only thing that's different over there. You come there and people feed you. Because we had lots of rice and beans and ground food and corn and so food was always in abundance. At least at my grandparents' home. So I had to prepare everything, but it was there.
So kind of like you do here, because you make big pots of rice and beans and stuff that we pull out of for days. You just make huge amounts at a time.
Right. Well, we got here how much we eat, but like on weekends, people come visiting and stuff. But that's how we make it. Not to have some left over and people come and we just give them something to eat. I think we might need to make some more beans with it. Add some more beans to I am preparing the onions. Cook it a little bit before I put the beans in there. That onion make it smell good already.
Now we're not making the beans from scratch. So what's in? You already did. What's in these?
Beans, you got beans, black pepper, and garlic. That's it.
You had some onion in there, did you? Already in those?
Yeah, I usually put onion in there. Yeah, I chop onion. That's onion.
Okay. So were they just stewed? Just like kind of a stewed?
Stewed in there.
And then you had chicharron in those. But
Yeah,
usually.
I add other chicharron that I had around, so I add that in it. It's pork rind, they call it.
Usually you put some kind of pork in there, right?
Yeah, well, you could put ham.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a little bit flavor for you. We're getting the onion ready. I'll cook it down a little bit. Cut the beans are already cooked. We just need to kind of heat that up.
So we're doing the cheat version tonight.
Oh
We're gonna cheat a little bit. Well, this is kind of a refried. We're doing refried beans at this point, right?
yeah. Right, it's refried beans. Yeah. Well, that's the way you do it. You fry beans anyhow. It's already cooked. Then you fry them. But I like onion, some salt and some pepper and garlic.
It's starting to get a little yellower.
Yeah, well,
Getting a little clear.
I wanted to soften up a little bit. So
It's starting to get a little clear.
I don't want it to be too crunchy when you eat it. Get that flavor going through. The onion flavor.
It's okay, Dad. I'm not going to put your picture out online of your sexy butt. You're good.
Hi. What's going on? See a red light blinking?
You do see a red light blinking.
Hello.
It's a matter of which sounds better. I mean, does it sound...
Hello.
All right,
Hello.
we're good. How about that? Better?
Hi. What's going on?
So this is round 2. We're seeing which sounds better.
What's cooking? Hi.
Just want the onion to get fairly soft, so then all we have to do is really heat that beans up.
This is the waiting time.
Oh yeah,
So did you all grow onions down there?
yeah, we'll go some.
Then why didn't they cook with as many as you do?
Well, sometimes people can grow them. But sometimes my grandfather used to grow a little bit of everything. Cabbage, green pepper, tomatoes. Some people can, does it, but not everybody does it. So they'll have to buy them.
So do you all live in the same house? Your grandpa, grandma, everybody?
Right, yeah. We had a 2-story house. The bottom story is where the kitchen was. We had another partition down there where I used to sleep on my mother. Bedroom used to be.
So it was your grandma and grandpa and your mom and you.
For me. And occasionally my sister she used to stay mostly in Belize with my aunt Jane Casey. And then my cousin Daniel used to be around for some time. If he's around, then we got him there. And he just passed it away not too long ago. I think this is kind of soft enough. Now I'm getting ready to put the beans in there. Put some garlic. We like a lot of garlic.
Garlic's good for you. So this time when you talk about living with your grandma and grandpa and everybody, how old were you?
I think somewhere around what, maybe 9 or 10, somewhere. Well, at the Young Yard. But then I went up. We moved from Young Yard to Kettle, and I grew up. I think when I left home, I was 17. That picture that I see in my with the pig.
Mm-hmm.
My job was to feed that pig.
You already garlicked.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were adding more garlic on purpose.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah. That pig that I used to take care of, I said the rooster was around it. I used to feed that. My job was to feed that pig. I didn't know what was going to happen with that pig.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's the way of life. Sprinkle a little bit of black pepper on it. I don't put too much because some people don't like too much pepper.
You mean like your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black pepper. So what we do right now, we just let this thing fry them. So we let it just fry and finish cooking. Okay. You don't have enough pepper or stuff like that, you just grab the thing and add some more when you need. This is my oil and
How hot is that?
my fry jack.
So now at 10, were you just going to school, hanging out at the house? Were you helping in the
Yeah.
fields? What were you doing?
Yeah, apart from young, and we used to. I think when I was 8 or so, we used to go to Happy Home when you home where the school was, and walking down to that cow past it. Maybe 5 miles, maybe 4 or 5 miles, to those cow trail. To go to school. That's where my wife, parents lived. They were right next to the schoolhouse. The center and Jane parent. There's a brother, one named Louis, and one named then we had Ruben, and we have was Ernest was younger brother, then and they had another sister named we used to call her Mumsy. And they had another brother called Poppy. So they were right their house was right next to the schoolhouse.
So you walked from Yungao over to.
To go to school. To go to I don't know what it says. They were living in New Home or Happy Home, one of them.
It was about 5 miles.
Yeah, 4.5, 5 miles.
Which district is this? This is up.
Kaya district.
Oh, so that's down in Cayos.
Kaya
Okay.
district,
Cayo
yeah.
now. Okay.
It's on the north and the west side of Rolling Creek.
Okay.
But it's on the river side. The school was. See, back then, most of the transportation was by boat. The boat come with big barges and pull product from Belize all the way. I know they come to where we were up and they go beyond where we were. I don't know. I think they used to go all the way to Cayo. Sometimes there was these fall or run, whatever you call it. They're so strong and steep. They used to got these big rope like about that thick, and they used to have a big thing on the front of the boat, and they'll turn it. 2 or 3 people get to it. It's like a winch.
Was that like the one we crossed the river on going to San Antonich?
Well, it's not quite like that. That one that was pulling across. This one on the bow of the boat, and on the barge they got like a like a cotton wheel. It was sitting down there, and you put the rope rope around it, and when you turn the winch, you keep wrapping around.
It rolls it up on the spool.
On the spool, it's like a 3/4 of a spool. You call it. I forgot what they used to call it. It's so long. I make one. I'll show it to you.
Now, did you have to cross the river?
Oh, we use.
No, I meant to go to school though.
I think sometime we had to, but there was people that live right there by the river that could give us take us in their canoe over the river.
So you had to canoe to work or canoe to school.
Well, just to cross the river.
Yeah.
To the other side of the river. See what happened? The river, you used to go around, and you come all the way around. If we go that way, we've been traveling so far, so we'll come wherever Bosmanana used to live, and there they'll take us across the river and just drop us off. Because you know this river, they wind.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go try to go all the way around, it's a long way. But if you go across there, you just
Then you walk it.
walk across the shore.
Okay. They smell good.
And I used to work at Bosmanana too. I used to
Busman?
Busman Arnold.
Does that mean he drove a bus?
No, that's his name.
That was his name.
Yeah.
So his last name was Busman?
Arnold.
His last name was Arnold. His first name was Busman.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never heard that name before.
Yeah.
What did he do?
He's a cattle. It was a cattle rancher, and he had a daughter, a couple of daughters, and then he had one son named Lincoln. And the wife used to name Lena. They eventually came and lived right north of where we are in Kamalode. If you go up there and climb the first little hill, and before you climb the high hill, they had a big a two-story house there. That's very and before the school came out, they took up house to go to school. We used to have to walk from Kamalota. We used to walk to the back there, all through mud and water. We roll up our pants and go barefoot until we get there and wash our feet and put our shoe on. Yeah. And we used to sometimes get infested by warri tick, we call them ticks. We call it cattle, and got lots of tick. And we sometimes get infected by those lost, I don't know if you call it infected, but anyhow, that you hit on one of them bushes and then thousand of little tick, you just tiny little thing. And boy, sometimes we used to use kerosene oil to kind of get rid of the thing.
I don't like ticks.
I know. We used to call them warri tick. Because I guess that when you kill a warri down there, you find tick on them.
What's a worry?
There's a thing like a picari. Remember Eddie Hill with his warri meat and picari meat? Is it tomorrow is picari meat, the next time warri meat? And then what was it he said? With the warri meat one way, beans and rice and this repeat.
Repeat.
Okay, so anyhow, that's I think it's cooked down enough now. I just turned
Now
the flame
it looks like refried beans
Yeah.
with onions.
Yeah. So I turned the flame off, and so I'll take it out so it don't dry out too much. And that's it.
Plate.
I use my fork. I got a piece of Frontina cheese. I buy that a piece of Frontina cheese, break piece of the fried jack, and dip it in there. You could use a fork to dip it up.
See, I've always made mine like a pizza. That's what I know.
They're a little bit crispy.
But this is breakfast of champions, huh?
Yeah. Breakfast in the evening.
Daddy, look at.
Rock-a-bye, baby. Michael, move. Isn't that just adorable?
Two more?
This is getting bigger.
Two-
Yeah?
I
Oh,
know.
I just noticed it.
I told her the monkey shit on it.
And this is what they're both crying.
Oh, that the monkey shit on it. Nice, he shit on it. Okay, buddy.
Well, we used to plant the cacao and we used to keep the rows clean and all that stuff. But then we pick the cacao, and then we bring them into the big barn, whatever you call it, and in there they had like a big platform, like grill thing that you busted the shell them off you and spread it on it, and then you just pull the whole thing out in the sun to dry and then get it back in. I didn't go beyond that stuff, but we used to do mostly at the maintaining the cleaning the rows and make sure everything is, they don't get overgrown and all that stuff. And we pick the cacao too.
Now you know you're talking to her, but the camera's over here.
Yeah, we pick the cacao. Yeah.
Now, did you ever cook with any of it?
No.
So you don't know if it was any good?
Nope.
Well, now you get to find out if it was any good. Because this is made with Belizean cacao, and the ingredients are Maya Mountain cacao from Belize, and then maple sugar. So there you go. Try her out. It means you have to open it.
Oh, I just ate. I just ate.
You just have a little piece of chocolate after. You get it to open. Does it smell like Belize?
Want a piece here?
Teeny.
Mom gets chocolate. Do we get to watch her make a face if it's bitter?
No, I don't enjoy it.
Rick, you want to try it?
Oh, I smell. Yeah, let me smell.
Does it smell like Belize, Dad?
Yes, yeah.
It tastes like
It
very
smells-
dark,
it smells like
bitter
overseas.
chocolate.
But that's from Brazil. It's Brazilian cacao.
This would be more like cooking chocolate.
No, it's just not sweet. It's super sweet.
It's not. It's not that super sweet.
Milk chocolate's the only kind.
What do you think, Dad?
Not bad.
It's like the river
It's
sea.
creamy. It's very creamy chocolate.
It's creamy, but it's bitter.
We used to go work at the field there for 2 weeks. We used to camp out there, and every 2 weeks we get paid and we head back to Kamalote.
And that's where you were teaching me about the foods you took with you. So we did like the journey cakes.
We had a journey cake and fried jacks. And we used to had a commissary there. We could pick up a few things that we need to cook to last us until we go back.
Where'd you sleep?
Right, I mean, we sleep in little some places had some little shed that the workers they sleep in. So over there, I think they had well, fairly decent little hut, you call them. And there's 4 or 5 people live in one, just stay in one thing, and they have one that could accommodate a woman and a man,
So you would go there and work for 2 weeks and then come back home?
Yeah.
And so what was the day like? So, get up in the morning, what'd you do?
6 to 6.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
And what'd you do?
Well, depending on what they have to do. Sometimes if it's planting, we plant. If it's planting, we're planting. If it's maintaining the rows clean from weeds, we do that. And if it's picking time, when we're picking the cacao, we pick it up and they had a little cart that come and pick him up and take him to the shed there.
So you hand pick?
Yeah.
And did you just pick the whole thing, or did you?
There's a bunch of them hanging on the tree, so we just pick it.
Okay, a bunch of them hanging on the tree. What was that?
The bunch of them hanging on the tree, so we just pick them each one at a time and then put them in the container that we have to put them in, and then we put them in the cart and they take it to the barn, I guess you could call it,
And were you paid by pound or by the day or what?
by the day.
Because I know when you said with the when we talked about the bleeding the chicles, it was different.
Yeah, for 2 weeks we would make like about maybe $35.
What year was this?
That is back in the 50s. That is in the 50s or mid 50s, somewhere around there.
That was pretty decent money back then. It was okay.
Yeah, but we were hard workers too. If you don't, it's like cleaning in the Orange Grove. They pay us 3.5 cents for tree. The tractor go one way and that way, and then we come and we finish what they could cut around the orange trees.
Cool.
And for you, it was 3.5 cents a tree. So for us to make $3.50 a day, we had to clean 100 trees.
Oof.
And now 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. Payday time, we'll just hitch a ride or bum a ride, you could call it, on a truck and head on back to the Rolling Creek area.
Like a pickup truck or a business truck?
Oh, big, any kind of truck. They got the truck what they had for seat back then is like open box, and then they have boards across that you put a lot of people sit down in there, kind of like, but to sit there. Or if not, you get in there and hold on to everything any way you can to get back to Belize.
There you go.
No, well, not to Belize, but to Rolling Creek. They won't take you home from Rolling Creek. We walk to Kamalute.
So how long would it take you to get from the cacao back to your home?
Oh gosh, and that's at least about maybe an hour and a half in the truck. It's a couple of hours, I guess.
So you want to get a truck
To
ride?
walk, no, that would take us a long time. Yeah, some people would walk it. You know, they can't get a ride. They'll just start walking.
And then the truck would drop you off how far away from the house?
About 5 miles, because Rolling Creek is about 5 miles away from where we live.
Okay.
Cool.
Anytime you see them young girls coming down from Fort, yes, they're coming down from Fort.
So today we're
yes,
cooking Dad's
down.
chili, which I'm going to subtitle How to Know Dad's Cooking is by seeing the empty shelves at the grocery store after he's got in to get his supplies. Because that's pretty much what this is. So this is what goes in to Dad's famous pot of chili.
It's not Mexican chili. This is Morillo's chili. I call it kind of almost a vegetarian chili.
Except for the 8 pounds of beef.
Except for this little bit of beef in here.
No, there's 8 pounds of beef. That's a little more than a little bit.
Yeah. I'm dropping them in one at a time.
So we're starting with 6 pounds of beef with 2 pounds to spare in case we need them.
Yeah, I'm stirring it up right now.
Takes a long time to brown 6
Brown
pounds
it.
of meat, huh?
Yeah. It got a little bit too much, but yeah, it's all brown now. So we'll get ready for the next move.
Now it's celery time.
Yeah. Start on the celery.
And we got 2 heads of celery, 2 full stalk
Might be
heads.
too much too.
You kind of feel this out as you go along?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what the pot could hold.
It's a good sized pot.
What I'm doing, I'm washing them right now.
You don't want gritty celery.
Yeah. And I'm washing them right now.
Anytime you see them with them frock, mash up the back, boat on crossway, grass in their hair. Anytime you see them with them
Throw
frock,
them in here. Okay.
A lot of celery.
Yeah.
Now it's pepper time.
Yeah, it's pepper time.
So you have a sink full of peppers.
Mealy bug. Alright, so we got them
About a dozen green peppers there.
Wow.
So
I didn't think it was that much.
Yep.
many.
so now what?
I guess get ready to cut up, I guess.
How small do you chop them up?
I'll show you in a little bit. What it, like this side there.
Little chunks? Oh, those are pretty good sized chunks.
Well,
Nice
yeah,
bites.
Approximately. So what I do with them, I slice them like that. Watch, make sure I don't cut my finger. Okay, then I go this way. And then I come out, cut them, I guess, like that. Cut them in small pieces, smaller pieces. It's a lot of work. I'm glad you guys are in the computer business. I don't know what the hell to do.
Is that your official statement on that?
Yep.
Too damn old, huh?
Too old to learn computers. You might get some comment. This is the way I feel.
Anytime you see them young girls coming down from Fort, yes, they're coming down from Fort. Yes, they're coming down from Fort. Anytime you see them young gal coming down from Fort, them and they whop.
Okay.
You're on onion number 6. And I'm assuming I'm videoing straight because I'm crying. So,
My eyes are burning too. You're not alone.
this is when we sniffle and cry while cooking, right?
Okay, get ready to dump it in here.
Good.
Get every little drop out.
Do you have a specific measurement or is it just whatever?
I just dump a certain amount in there.
And you're not picky on what kind because we kind of cleaned out the cabinet. So there's stewed, there's diced, there's peeled, there's crushed tomato sauce. Pretty much every possible.
Italian tomato.
Yeah, all you're missing is tomato paste. You've got everything else kind of in here.
Yeah.
But just lots of tomatoes. It's what?
Whole tomatoes. Yeah.
4, 5, 30. You got about 180 ounces of tomatoes, roughly.
All right, there goes one stew tomato. Yeah, that's good right there. All right, now we'll throw some beans in there before we forget about it. There's the beans.
All right, we got kidney beans, lots of kidney beans. So far, from what you've got open that you're going to keep pouring here, about 140 ounces of kidney beans. So.
Different brand of kidney beans. You got some dark and you got some red.
We put the beans in, mixed it up a little bit, and you decided we need more tomatoes.
More tomatoes. Oops.
More tomatoes.
So adding more tomatoes to it.
So now we're up to about 240 ounces of tomatoes in this pot,
Wow, okay.
which is essentially 8 of those big cans.
Alright, now we're down to
Now you got 50 pounds of chili.
yeah, now we're down to we need to put our chili seasoning in there.
And you cheat because you use the McCormick stuff.
Right. And I'll put some water in the can here and add the chili season to it. Slowly but surely.
So you get your first 3 packets in there. Put some water.
Well, I'm just mixing it up a little bit at a time, yeah. Because I don't want it to be crumbly.
So that's your first 3
So,
packets.
Yeah, mix it up so, and then I throw it in there.
How many packets are you going to put in?
Oh, all right. 6 or 7.
Start with 6. See how it tastes.
Yeah.
Okay. This has
Yeah.
got to be close to 50 pounds of
Yeah, I
chili.
think
It's
it's
ridiculous. This is insane. Now, how long have you been making the chili?
When do we start it?
No, how long have you been making this?
Oh, for quite some time.
I mean, I
Once
remember
a year is about.
more than once a year, but I mean, I remember you taking it over to MEL and WMMB and all the different places I've worked, and that was just one of those, you'd come in with a big vat of it and bags of Doritos. So, I mean, that's at least 25 years of making it, which means I'm getting old because I've been in radio for 25 years, but hey. Oh well.
All right, I think I'm done to the last.
One more packet for good measure. Packet number 7.
The last of the Mohegan. There you go. And that's about all we could put in this thing. It's loaded with vegetables.
Yes, it is. Now, you don't cook this on the stove, even though it starts on the stove.
I'll cook it in the oven.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it to bake. Says I'm baking over 275. So I'm going to take this one rack out because it's
You got to get that pan way down in there. Now your finger's in front of it, so
Wait,
we're
where's it?
videoing. There you go.
where is it?
Less videoing of the fingers.
Stir it a little bit there. Go ahead. Just stir it a little bit. I got all of you right
You in
now.
my head. Because you know, in our pictures
yeah.
from when we were kids, Leanne and I had to figure out what we were wearing. To
Yeah,
know
I think
which
I'm
of us
not getting
was
your
which.
feet because of mommy's
That's okay.
here.
That's okay.
Okay.
You need head.
I got you.
front.
Got you. Got
You
you.
got this? All right.
Got you.
Check out those arms, all right?
Oh, wow.
Ugh. And it's in.
Allá en el rancho grande, allá donde vivía. Había una rancherita que alegra me decía, que alegra me decía. ¿Qué decía? Te voy a hacer tus calzones. ¿Cómo? Como los dulces rancheros. En los comienzos de lana, y entonces te los acabo de cuero. Allá en el rancho grande, allá donde bebía. Había una rancherita que alegra me decía, que alegra me decía. Te voy a hacer tus calzones como los dulces rancheros. En los comienzos de lana, te los acabo de cuero. Allá en el rancho grande, allá donde vivía. Había una rancherita que alegra me decía, que alegra me decía. ¿Qué decía? ranchero. En los comienzos de Habana. En los cabos de cuero. Allá en el rancho grande.
I got it.
Well, I hope you got the
Amid all this tragedy, the US-based National Search Dog Foundation has 7 teams here in Haiti right now. And just about 2 hours ago, they tell me they found 3 young girls buried beneath a huge pile of rubble. They have managed to get water down to those 3 young girls. We're still waiting for another update now to hear whether they will be able to actually get them out. But the 3 are said to be alive. That US-based team has got water to them. One more moment of hope in what is an ocean of despair here in Port-au-Prince.
Kind of sent me back in my prehistoric years.
Well, you didn't do coffee in Belize.
Yeah, well, we used to make coffee out of corn.
How
You
did
do
you,
that?
how did you make coffee out of corn?
You put it in a pan, kind of brown it until it start like getting burned, and then you grind it and make coffee.
Really?
You got to try that, yeah.
Is it a certain type of corn you have
No,
to use for
just
that?
get some dry corn. I put and kind of brown it like you're making popcorn batter until it get burned. The whole corn.
And you just
then-
grind it the same way.
Then you go. Then we have the corn mill. We grind it.
We'll have to try that.
into you know, just like and make a coffee with it.
Yeah,
But
that.
they like you want some.
What does it taste like?
Yeah, I guess it's like burned corn. I guess I don't know.
Did you have it?
No, I was little. We used to use lime tea, which is the lemon leaf.
Oh, you'd use the leaves? So it's just that was an herbal tea.
Right, and then we used to use the fever grass tea. Kind of look like those. It's not cattail, I guess. What kind of tea? It had a odor to it. Look like lemon. Smell like lemongrass.
Oh,
I
so
guess.
lemongrass.
Yes.
Yeah, that I have. I grow
So we
lemongrass.
used to, oh, damn it.
Did you lose one?
Yeah. So. Stuff we used to do. Yeah, you're probably a month away from each riverboat come up the river to bring anything from the city. They go up and it take them 2-3 weeks to go up.
And a couple weeks to go back.
And a couple weeks to go back down. And on the way down, they take produce and back to the city, and chicken and pig, whatever you have, shipping to sell.
Oops.
It's the only.
And so you're having fun squishing.
If you call it fun. To me, it's like torturing.
Is it torture?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, some people do this just to show how it's done and to
I'm
have
trying
fun
to
with
figure
it.
out how they got a way of doing it. Over the years, you learn how.
Oh, there's a press
It's
that
a
you can
mushy-
take actually a big piece of wood and press them
It's a
down.
mushy thing.
Um,
We'd already figure out something. It's like the sugar cane mill before we go buy, get the fancy stuff. Yeah, we got to make our one disc and everything, and take metal and punch hole in it like a grater. Put them together, and then you turn a wheel and you'll crush your cane. Then you crush it, you ring it, and get the juice out of the sugar cane. And we use our horse to do it, pull the thing around. Or if not, the horse not available, guess we'll get to do 'em.
You do.
Yeah, we just push that thing around and I keep going around until you get dizzy.
Then you let somebody else do it.
Marcos was too little back then because he was born in the 40s, and then back then I was about 12. I mean, maybe 8 or some closer to 10, I guess. Capoli was about 12, about almost 3 years older than I am. He was a hard worker, man.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Three.
Oh, Michelle. God, it's gonna spit at me. And did you notice its tail? Did you notice the
Tail moves, yeah.
It goes back to
Hi, Glad. Hi, Glad. Hi, Glad. Hi, Glad. Hi, Glad.